Pretty close. 10:30, 10:15 in the evening. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
So we got a packed house of people who just watched your movie and loved it. What'd you guys think of it? Yeah, my sentiments exactly, man. Thank you so much, not only for making and sharing that film with us, but where are you right now?
I'm in a hotel in Ireland.
What are you doing there?
Literally, I'm at another film festival, and they had a closing night party tonight, so I haven't slept. It's 6 in the morning here. I came straight from the party to do this, so I apologize if I'm not all here.
Well, that sounds like my last. That sounds like my last 3 days. So I think we're a good match tonight. So I have a ton of questions for you, and part of this is like personal greed. That since it's closing night, I'm doing it. But other people have questions as well. But I'm gonna ask a bunch of you, and it's gonna be hard to like single it down because at the core of my like discussion that I'd like to have with you, sit down for like 2 hours to talk about the thing that you took really seriously, which was storytelling. And that was very obvious from the get-go and all the way throughout. And would you talk about kind of how when you're writing and developing a project, how much time you put into the script?
Oh wow, that's a long question.
Yeah, I'll try to narrow them down a little bit.
I'm trying to think of. I guess I first started writing the script in 2003, and then I think I was like working on it like obsessively for a couple months, and I finished the first draft in 2004, and like ever since then I was trying to figure out how to get the movie made. This is someone calling me to like because they think I'm not talking to you.
Nice ringer.
Hello. I'm on with them right now. So okay, all right, bye.
I may have called your hotel room or somebody's hotel room and woke somebody up.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. Some dick just called me, woke me up. I was just going to sleep. So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess to maybe simplify the question and get us going again is at its core, it was a relationship story, and
yes.
So what was the relationship basis for you? Was this something you were interested in writing about based on personal experience, or just a story you wanted to tell? What was your root in the relationship stuff?
It came to me kind of hard. Like I went through this relationship that was really insane, and after it ended, I think it kind of like destroyed me, and I was out of my mind for a little while. When I came back, the idea came to me, at least the overall idea for the movie, where there was going to be the two halves, like the first half that was like this like dreamy memory of it building, and the second half that just like ripped it apart. So the idea just came in like it feels like it came in like almost like the whole movie, even though it obviously took tons and tons of working on it to get it to be the movie it is. So I don't feel like I had a choice. Like I got the idea and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make this. I have to start writing this. I have to make this movie.
Thank you. So, I'm kind of juggling here because I want to ask you so many questions and it would take me so long. So I'm going to be a little more succinct and just cutting to like specific questions. And one of them was the stunts in the movie. And I don't know if you want to get in specifics of budgets, but my understanding was it was a pretty low budget film, and you pulled off like pretty heavy budget stunts. And so how much of that was from what I hear, you're a tinkerer and you make stuff. So how much of that was like you?
Paul's here with you right now. Paul.
Hi guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Me and Paul built all the stuff.
Nice.
For the movie. It was me and him. So that's actually why they have this at this film festival, because it's like they have like their focus is like DIY this year, and so they wanted the people that built everything to come. Nice. So me and Paul are here.
Hey man, yeah, thanks for joining us, both of you. So, will you talk about some of the stuff you built for this project? I mean, it went anywhere from cameras to cars. I mean, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. The budget was zero. I think we've been telling people on paper it says 17,000, but that was 11 people's money over the course of 4 years. So we never had like $17,000 in our hands. It was always nothing, like a couple $100 at a time. But the cars, the two cars and the flamethrower, we'd had the idea that we were like, we can figure out how to build these. and if we have them for real, it's going to make the movies so much better. Because we'll be able to play with them, and we won't have to like plan out a stupid fake special effects shot where like obviously it wouldn't be hard to make a fake flamethrower, right? You're like, oh, have a toy and like point it like that and put the flame on. So me and Paul ended up building all that stuff, which was a trial in itself because a lot of times we would, like the Medusa car, we'd shoot with it one day and it was yellow, and then the next day it had to be black, and then the next day it had to have a roll cage, and the next day it had to have the dashboard. So we'd be up all night working on it. It was pretty brutal sometimes. And I'm like so tired.
Oh, this is great, man. We're getting the best stuff. We're digging deep. So tell me about your mother. So, tell me about some of the stunts. It looks like you actually maybe took a punch or two. Did you ever actually take one?
Yeah, there was a handful of stunts that I think because I was thinking about the script for so long, I wanted like the little violent moments and like those parts to be like really special, and so I had like gotten all these silly ideas of stuff I wanted to do to make them really work. And like for the scene where I get punched at the truck stop, we like put a little pad in my forehead and had the guy just like nail me, and then like the motorcycle accident. A lot of people ask me how we did that. We actually ratchet strapped the motorcycle to the front of the car, and had me ride on the motorcycle while like the car was like going through, and like when it went to the middle of the intersection, like roll off the motorcycle onto the hood of the car.
Wow. Okay, so that takes me right to a crazy question. How much, if any, did you permit? Like for your exteriors?
Technically, there was one day, the day that we shot the thing where I'm covered in blood and Becca shoots herself.
Yeah, because you didn't want to get shot by the police?
Yes, exactly.
Good call, yeah.
Actually, more than that, we didn't want there to be any cars parked on the street. And so we went and got a permit and said we were shooting a dialogue scene and needed there to be no cars there. And so they thought we were just shooting a dialogue scene. And we thought also, like, while we did that, we could do the Medusa car stunt. Like that slow motion shot of it coming around the corner.
Was that you driving? Was that you driving?
In the wide shot, so the day we had the permit, we got a stunt driver, like an experienced stunt driver, to come out. And while he was doing the wide shot of the car coming around the corner, where you see it through like the windshield from inside the car, the car blew up in that shot. And so 9 months later, we went back, and then it was me in the car doing all the slow motion stuff. So in the wide shot, it's this guy, and then with the permit, at least a permit to be there, but not to do stunts. And then in the close-up, it's just us there with no permits at all. And then yeah.
Yeah. So walking down the street with the flamethrower, permitted?
No.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's one thing that's super funny because it was exactly how it is. It could have been like what happened, nothing happened, right? So it was one of those things where either nothing could have happened or it could have gone like way wrong. Or all of a sudden they're like, this is a fully functioning like loaded flamethrower. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Like you can't have this. But having the camera there like following you, I think helps a lot. It's just like, oh, they know what they're doing, like,
So, I bet you get a lot of questions about Medusa, and like every time it came on screen, and the room would, usually from the male side, but it was, that fucking car was amazing, right? Yeah. But I have a question, like Speed Biscuit was mad crazy. But James, the James Bond, what's he call it? The James Bond car for drunks?
James Bond car for drunks, yeah.
Yes! So how much work did you put in on that thing?
I think Paul has brain damage. From having to spray paint. That car was black on the inside, and so we had to turn the entire interior white.
Like, it took like 12 cans of spray paint on the interior of the car, and we just didn't have good ventilation or anything, so I just had to take it.
You know the little mask, the one that Tyler puts on in the little store, where he puts the thing on, like closing it? He was ended up wearing that with the hose, like, going to the outside the window to like get fresh air while he's
nice.
But yeah, I think we did that whole car in like 2 days.
Yeah.
We just ripped out the dashboard. Paul built in a new wooden like countertop and placed the dashboard, and then we turned it white. We put in the little whiskey dispenser, which was fairly simple. Well, compared to the Medusa car, it was simple. And then the boombox in the back seat that you never really see a close up on. But
did you modify the top too? Did you crop the top?
No, that's like it's a special Volvo that they made in 79 and 80. That was like they took Volvo 240s and sent them to Bertone, some company in Italy, to make like this like special sports Volvo, and they chopped the top and put like a faster engine in it. But they were super expensive and never caught on. So if you can find them, they're really rare, but you can get them for like $1,000.
Wow,
So.
dude, man, it's mind-blowing, all the crazy stuff that you put into this film, just mad ingenuity, you know, of, like, we watched a film last night, The Last Mountain, which was a documentary about, you know, blasting off the tops of mountains for coal, and they were talking about, like, you know, the lack of innovation, and, like, here you are with $17,000 over 2 years, you know, building, like, an arsenal over there. It's inspirational, man, and putting it into film, too, which obviously just hits home with everybody in this room. So, did you score some of that stuff too, or did you have the?
Oh, the music?
Yeah. Was there some score that was yours?
I didn't make anything. I mean, I placed a lot of the music, but like there was obviously a lot of the bands that are just indie bands that we had like for background music in a couple of the montages in the beginning, and then the rest of it was John Keeble, who was someone that was on our team since the beginning. Like he was helping in pre-production, shooting, editing, and he was also a musician. And I found these songs of his and like started playing with them because he left them on a hard drive at my house, and they fit and they ended up like using them for like half the movie. And then so I asked him to see if he could make more music, and he ended up scoring the second half of the movie as well.
Nice. Yeah, it was really beautiful, man. I loved it. It was just. It was suited so perfectly that I kind of made an assumption that you maybe had handcrafted some of that, but
no,
given that you were Mr. Tinker and can
yeah,
seemingly
I wish I'm not. That would be like too many talents. But I felt really lucky when I found that stuff because I felt like it fit so well. Like I freaked out. I was like, holy shit! I just stumbled on something. Like my movie just got twice as good. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I want to talk a little bit, and I'm gonna people back here start thinking of questions because I think we can start lining people up.
How many people are back there? Like it's like darkness.
More, like a lot of the crowd stayed. There's about close to 100 people here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I want to talk about reality. I mean, a lot. Obviously, the story. There's so much in like that perception of reality and bent reality, and but another reality I want to talk to you about is that I'm wondering. I mean, there were some things that just seem so real that people are like looking over and going, "What?" Like you know, the barf scene, like where you were throwing up in the bathroom.
Yes.
Do tell. Did you like take some of that chalk stuff or whatever?
No, a lot of us had been planning to make this movie and trying to figure out how to make it for so many years. It had become like this like super important thing. And there was the same thing with those stunts. It was sort of part of the same thing where there was all these things that like a lot of us were doing. Like for Jessie, it was always like she's like, I'm gonna eat the crickets for real. I'm gonna eat like handfuls of crickets.
Okay, I had to ask. Just answer quickly. Did she?
Yes, she did. It's all
I was like, no way did she fake that. Those are real crickets.
Yeah, she ate six huge handfuls of crickets.
Wow.
But there was a lot of stuff like that. There was like the stunts that we did, like blowing stuff up for real, playing with all the toys, me puking. It was all like stuff that I feel like we were like kind of like trying to prove ourselves to our own movie because it becomes so important to us. We were like, we'll do anything to make this happen. We were selling off our like belongings to keep it going. So I think even that stuff was part of it where I was like, no, I'm not going to pretend to puke. I'm not going to like pretend to get punched. I'm going to do it for real. Like.
And thank you.
I don't know if that's weird or not.
No, I'm thinking like thank you for taking those risks, man. And you took a lot of them in this film, and that I think that's what really moved me watching it the second time was just the choices that you made were really brave and obviously motivated personally for you. And yeah, just thank you for doing that, being honest, you know, in your storytelling. I'm gonna pass this over. I'm hoping people have questions here. Is anyone coming down? They're a little shy. I'm telling you, this is closing night film. If everybody went home, I could just talk to you for like 3 hours right here. I wouldn't care. So, okay, somebody's stepping forward.
Okay.
Yeah, start the line. Thanks, Evan. We're gonna start passing you around.
Oh, thank you.
It's not that I think you're cheap, or you know, you're cheap in the moment, but.
Okay, I'm breaking the ice. I really enjoyed your film. That was amazing, and it blew my mind on many levels. I had a question about, you said that your relationship that you had a couple years ago really inspired this story for you, and you couldn't let go of that. And I'm wondering if, like, now that it's done, have you worked through those feelings, or do you still feel the same way towards women?
No. That's a good question. Basically, I mean, I think it was almost 10 years ago, the relationship I went through. Like, I wrote the script, and I had it, and the first version of the script I had was fucking insane. Like, have you ever seen The Room?
Yeah, I've seen The Room a couple times.
Tommy Wiseau movie? Like, the first version of the script I wrote was literally like The Room, where like my character, like, it was the same structure, but like my character was like this like perfect angel, and every time like the girl kept doing bad things to him, and he was like, oh, but I'm so good, why are you doing this to me? Like, and so luckily no one helped me make that version of it, like, because like a couple years later, I think I had like this like crazy like epiphany, and like I think I for the first time kind of understood what happened, and that there was like no real fault, like we both played our parts in it. And it was really intense, and I got the script back out and did like a full rewrite on it, and like added all of my half in. And I think that was the moment when I first realized I was like, oh wait, it's time to make this movie. Like I think I had to grow to a point to where I actually was like understood it in a larger, you know. So it was some crazy shit that I guess, you know, I'm sure like from working on it, I suppose I learned and dealt with a lot of things and grew. But I think I had to, the bigger part of that had to happen before I started making the movie.
All right. So I broke the ice. Does anyone else want to come up?
Question from the darkness.
This is Mike Serber coming, actually. He's one of the co-founders of the festival, and my buddy.
Oh, cool.
Hey, man.
Hello.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I could just tell you how awesome I think the movie is, but I just think the movie's really awesome. My question is, what, since you finished the film, like, what are you working on next or now, in terms of films and also maybe gadgets and weapons?
Oh, fuck. I wish I had some good weapons. Like, I haven't made any new weapons since the movie. Although we did have to get the flamethrower back out. Like, Oscilloscope has this, like, wants us to keep making, like, promotional stuff to, like, promote the DVD release. That's about to happen, so we had to get the flamethrower back out and, like, refurbish it and, like, replace all the seals, so we were, like, shooting that last week. Irrelevant story.
Sweet, no, that's...
I mean, for the last, like, 10 months, like, I've mostly just been traveling, like, either around the U.S. or now internationally, just promoting the film. So I have a script that has, like, been almost done for this whole time. The festival I'm at right now, I'm going to one more after here, and then I told them, like, I finally was like, I'm done. I'm not going to any more, like, international adventures, because I want to finish my script and start the next project. But I don't have any easy way to describe the project or a name for it.
That's cool. So are you traveling in the Medusa car?
I was. Obviously, when we were in the U.S., we were taking that everywhere. But
Oh, you're in Ireland, yeah.
No one has shipped it overseas yet. So.
Right. We were picturing how cool it would be, like, if we had gotten you, like, actually in Grande for the festival. We figure wherever you go to festivals, you whip a huge cookie around the corner in the Medusa car. And that's how you pull up in front of the movie theater, so.
It's actually been like that. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks for hearing. All right. Well, I'll really look forward to what you have coming up in the future as well. So,
awesome.
Good luck with whatever's next.
Thank you. I'll try and do good.
You'll do great.
And here, contestant number 3, it's Connor.
That's the number 3. Right here on the
Yep.
sheet. Mike's on a short leash. All right, Mike's on a short leash. I just have to say, I love the film. But one thing I particularly enjoyed was that moment where, you know, all the extreme violence happens and it comes back to him staring at that box. And there's this notion of, you know, the Western man kind of being, you know, having this great capacity for violence. And one of the, you know, it comes out at us from the movies, and I feel like you played on those themes of, you know, a lot of mayhem and destruction.
Yeah, it's not usually that kind of violence.
Yeah, like vengeful destruction. You know, it's all over. There's so many revenge flicks, you know.
Yeah.
But I really like the notion that there's the pause and the capacity to hold back that violent rage, even when you have a flamethrower in a car like that. You know.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can still
yeah.
just hold your guns. And, so I like that message, and thank you for sneaking that into an otherwise really violent film.
Thank you.
I think we're going to take one more, and we got to get moseying on ourselves here too.
All right.
I'm sure you do. Hold on.
Alright, so I got a couple for you, and I bet most people around here are wondering, how did it feel to hold that bad A weapon there, the
Bad A.
fire blower? How did it feel? Did you feel like exhilarated, or did you just feel like, I do this every day?
Holding the flamethrower, like wearing it, like
Yeah.
it's cool.
Just wearing the whole gear.
Shooting it is cool, but like since I was one of the people that built it, like I think I was always always being like, okay, wait, did I hit this like button? Did I turn this thing right? Is it leaking? But like for real, one of the most insane experiences like in my life to date was the wide shot where the flame just goes like shoots like that giant like fireball and it's like at dusk. I wasn't wearing the flamethrower. I was standing next to it, and we had it turned up so high that the igniter didn't work. It would just blow itself out because it was shooting so far. And so I had like a little blowtorch, and I was standing like next to like the stream of like fuel like shooting out, and like just like keeping like the flame at like just the right spot to like keep it from like blowing out. And I was like concentrating on that like so hard. All of a sudden like I looked up, and it's like that fireball is almost 80 feet tall like when it's at its peak. And I like looked up, and all of a sudden I was like, holy shit! Like I was like, this is like that. I couldn't believe how big it was, and like I really thought I was like. If he trips while he's holding the gun or like even turns a little bit, like I would just have like disappeared. It was one of those moments where like for a split second you like got taken out of it and we're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Also another one I had was, how was it like being in the movie, but also like being the director? Like, you're the main character, but you're also like directing it and filming it. I was wondering how you went about that.
That was the most difficult part for me. Like I've never like had like aspirations as an actor. I played parts in like lots of short films that I made with my friends and stuff, but it was always just kind of like silly stuff, like comedy, like joking around. And I had because the story was so personal. Like all of us have been joking around about if I played the main part, like something cool might happen because there's parts of the script I probably didn't even understand, and if I was the lead character, they would come through. Which, in retrospect, I think a lot of them did. But it was terribly stressful for me. Like it was the whole time. It was like I was like freaking out. There's a really small crew trying to figure out if the camera angles were right and everything was working, if like the scene was even working, and if the other actor was knew what they were doing. And then I had to act too, and it was insanely difficult.
Yeah.
So, like every one, it was like I had to like everybody else would get like 3 or 4 takes, and I had to get like 10. And like I really needed them because I would be like forcing out like sort of like contrived lines how I had written it, and like and everybody would like I would kind of like be like, does this scene working? Like, and everybody would be like, oh, it's a little weird. And so I had to like finally like let go at least one take in each scene and just like forget about what was going on. And like I think those takes were the takes that got used through most of the movie. So I don't know, when we finished shooting, I was like, and like even when we got through editing and actually got the movie working, I was like, I hope I don't ever have to do that again. So yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I know how that goes. And I just wanted to say that that movie totally threw me off. The ending was just like at least like the supposed ending where he comes out with the blood on his shirt. I just totally thought it was going to end that way, and I was like, holy crap, it just was messing with me. And then when it goes back to the box, I was like, I like the movies that mess with my head, and it just totally clicked, but you so relate to it in some ways, not like you want to kill your ex, but, you know, in that way that you just, like, you get these feelings and you start imagining what you could do and how it would make you feel. And I just like the way it just messed with my head, because I just thought you were just going to be walking, and then it was going to turn black, and that would be it. And I was like, holy crap, that's so messed up. But I just want to say that was, I haven't seen such exceptional work. I really like it. So thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess I'm done.
Hello. I just wanted to say real quick, one, this is, without blowing smoke up your ass, the best movie I've seen all year.
Oh.
Just amazingly visually striking, and as someone who's interested in cinematography, I was wondering, what that process was with your cinematographer, how long he was involved with the project, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Joel Hodge, who is the cinematographer that like literally like, I think we didn't even know what a cinematographer was when we first started like shooting together. I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna do camera, and then we just kept doing that for years. So like me and him have done everything together, and then like I mean, there's like the cameras that are all like hacked homemade cameras. What's the easy way to describe that? I basically started by making 35mm adapters, like almost 10 years ago when I first heard that there was such a thing existed, but they were like $10,000, and I knew I couldn't afford one. And so I started trying to build one myself. And then by the time I'd gotten one working to where I actually liked the way it looked, all of a sudden it seemed like it looked better than like even the ones you could buy, because it was like, I think it was because it was like to my specs, because I was like working on it, and I finally was like, oh, that's the way I want it to look. And all of a sudden I was like, holy shit, there's so much stuff you can do with this that no one's done. So I started building bigger ones, and I started replacing the focusing mechanisms with like bellows and tilt shift stuff so that you could take any lens and do whatever you wanted with it without having to use the focusing mechanism that's in the lens, or even like using weird lenses that don't have any focusing mechanism because they're not meant for photography. And building bigger ones and out of weird materials, finding like strange glass. So like that's where a lot of the look of the movie came from. It's like a lot of like really insane contraptions with a bunch of stuff like glued together basically. Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi there.
Hello.
I'd just like to start by saying that was literally the coolest movie ever. Basically what the last guy said, just fucking awesome. And I just had a question. Do you actually love Mad Max?
Yes, of course. I would be a total bastard if I yeah.
Yes, we all love Mad Max.
Thank you. See, I was just curious about this the whole time because in the previews it said a mix between John Hughes and Mad Max, and I was like, oh, I gotta see it. Oh.
Yeah. It's a little bit misleading though, right? Because the movie itself isn't too much like Mad Max.
Yeah.
But, like,
but the fact that you have so many like Mad Max involved, like everything, just made it all the better. So totally
okay,
made
good,
up for it. Yeah, loved it.
yeah, when I saw Road Warrior, like when I was, they don't even call it that here. Here it's Mad Max 2. I got in a conversation with someone. Like they never even released the name Road Warrior. Anyway,
Really?
when I first saw that movie when I was a kid, I was like, holy shit, this is like these are the coolest guys in the world. Like, so yeah.
Yeah. It's totally how it was for me too. I saw it when I was like 11. I was like, oh, it's awesome. I want a car like that. That's exactly how it was. I think we're done.
Okay, yeah, we are gonna wrap up on our end.
So, thanks, man, so much again. You know, for making this incredible film and being open to talking to filmmakers and kind of pulling back the curtain and letting us see the inner workings.
Thank you for having me. And I hope I'm not too incoherent. Like I'm like a little out of my mind right now. So.
No, this is great, man. I'll send you a video copy of it. You can check it out before we do anything. Anything too incriminating. Well, so how long are you in Ireland?
Here until Friday, and then I'm going to Belgium for a couple days, and then I'm coming back home.
And the theatrical release is pretty much like almost done in the States?
Yeah, I think there's like it's moving to a couple more theaters the next 2 Fridays, and then it's over. So, but I think so. I don't know. It seems to change every week.
And so how involved are you in the distribution process? I mean, I always wonder, did you cut the trailer, or is that Trailer House?
I did not cut that trailer. I was heavily involved. Like there was 12 recuts of the trailer that they sent over, and I would give notes, and then little changes would get made, but it wasn't like my concept. We actually made a trailer, the one that we thought was like the perfect trailer for the movie, and like shot new stuff for it, and it was so weird we actually got scared to release it. But I think we've been talking about uploading it on our website or something soon, so hopefully we'll put that up.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is a badass trailer and a badass movie too. And you know, it's easy in these discussions. Like when I was taking notes, watching it, like all the questions I wanted to ask, I literally, it's like what it is. It's the DVD commentary that I'm waiting to hear of every little thing that you did. So I didn't want to like torture everyone in the audience with an hour and a half of questions of every detail, but I hope to hear those details someday. But you know, it was those details that you paid special attention to that paid off for us as an audience. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so appreciate that, man. So, thanks again for your time, and
Yeah, thank you guys.
have a great trip in Ireland, and Belgium, and get back in the States soon, and get writing because we want to see your next project soon.
All right, I'll do it.
Right on.